Blake Farenhold walked into a hornet's nest. In a previous video I did with that racist asshole Steve King out of Iowa, April Ryan got cut off because of time, and it really was because of time, because Chris Hayes, if there's one thing I know about him, and he's from the Bronx, he's fair as far as giving people an opportunity to basically debate and rebut things that are said on his particular show. And he does point out and side a lot of the times giving deference to African American people. Anyway, April didn't get a chance. She was getting ready to go off on Steve King like no tomorrow. So she's back on Chris's show, and that Republican congressman, he picked the wrong show to come on to, because she is going to go off. Here we go.
All right, we are back here in Cleveland. The Michelle Cinder, New York Times, American Urban Radio Network, April Ryan in Texas, Congressman Blake Farenhold, and Congressman Emisha just making the point that the model of colorblindness isn't very appealing to a lot of Americans who see a society that is in no means colorblind.
Well, you've also got politicians and various other interest groups who use color and race to divide people and to drive wedges and say, well, this group is with me, that group is against me. And that's not what Trump's America, if you will, is about. It's about being a big tent.
Trump is doing that?
I don't. I think he's trying to reach out to everybody, particularly the blue-collar workers who have been feel like they have not been a part of the Republican Party.
I mean, I want you to respond to what Steve King said the other night, because I did not give you an opportunity to do that. And then I want to come back.
First of all, we need to ask him what he thinks about Steve King's comments.
He said he did not agree.
Okay, good, because I couldn't. Okay, I'm glad I heard that just now. But let me go back to what Steve King said this a couple days ago. Steve King, I think he's stunted mentally, to be honest with you, and that's as nice as I can be. And when I say that, he does not understand the history. African Americans, we are the descendants of the strongest that survived the Middle Passage. Okay, wealth at that time was built on the backs of slaves, free labor, forced free labor. So that piece we contributed to this country. Asians contributed to this country. But when you talk about what other things, there's innovation, there's entrepreneurship. Charles Drew, the current blood transfusion system, an African-American man, helped bring us that new system. We also have George Washington Carver with different uses of the peanut. I mean, my mother used to tell me about this when I was a kid. Maybe he needed to grow up in my household. Then we had Garrett Morgan, who also, many of us are walking around with gas masks today. Thank you, Garrett Morgan. Today here at the RNC convention. So Garrett Morgan did that. The traffic light that we sit and wait and have road rage for. Thank you, Garrett Morgan. So maybe he needs to learn a little bit of history. So, I just don't know what history book he's reading from.
Excuse me, that's my point. America is a land of opportunity for everybody. You get there with your
speak that instead of the vision that's going on right now.
You see, the fact that she has to go and list all the things that African Americans have done, to me, it's already part of the problem. If we were a colorblind society, she wouldn't have to be defending the fact that African Americans contributed to America. It should be a fact already. African American history is.
I learned that in high school.
No, you didn't. Yes, you did. Tell us some more.
Let's do this, Congressman.
Okay, now he didn't learn that in high school, because I'll tell you for a fact, all of the major accomplishments of African Americans, you are going to be hard pressed to find those in any type of a high school history book. Now, if you want to do the research, obviously the information is there, but you're not going to find it in a standard high school text. As a matter of fact, the state of Texas, where this guy is from, they make every attempt in the world to strip out any positive accomplishments by African Americans and Mexican Americans as well, now that I think about it, because they just tried to come out with this bullshit textbook for the teaching of Mexican American history. what killed me was they didn't even have Mexican people that wrote the book, and they didn't consult with any Mexican scholars. So I'm trying to figure out how they wrote this book, and so were a whole lot of other Mexicans, and they are getting ready to take them to court to block the usage of this particular book, and it's currently under consideration. But the other point I was going to make is that in Texas, Scholastic created a history book that basically took out the word slavery and replaced it with indentured servant. There is a hell of a big difference between slavery and indentured servant. And they also wanted to take out all references to Jim Crow. So Mr. Farenhold, he's talking out of both sides of his face as far as he learned the historical contributions of black people in America in school. That's a bunch of crap.
On this, do you think it remains the case that institutionalized racism infects the main systems of American life, whether it's the criminal justice system or politics, policing? Do you believe that fundamentally that is the case?
I think there's some racist folks out there. I think there's some lingering racism in this country.
But not institutional.
But what you see is it being used for people to gain advantages through division. And so a politician comes out, I'm the champion of the African American community, so I'm going to give their vote. I want to be the champion of every American because a rising tide lifts all ships. And that's what Donald Trump wants to do.
The highest number of negatives in every category, so you can't say a rising tide lifts all.
Let me just say this finally as a final moment that I think Donald Trump, a lot of people feel like he is saying that for white people, that he's going to champion them. April Ryan, Congressman Blake Farenhold, Libby Alcindor, thank you. Quick programming note.
Yeah, Chris wanted to get out of there because that could turn into an hour dialogue between the two of them, because that guy's from Texas, and I'm just going to leave it there.